It's a Grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No. We're gonna watch and listen.
Broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Energy on the truck, boy.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Grizzly, Paranormal True Crimes. We have Rosie with us. Hello, Rosie.
Hello. How's everybody? Happy Friday. TGIF.
That is right, Luna. How you doing there? Anthony Lewis, peace in the house, brother. How you doing there? Hello, hello. Welcome. Crazy Witch, like always on time, never late for dinner though, right? Tess H, hello there. Pauline Walker, and of course we got Michael Lewis coming up from the rear, and he's coming up with FDL Paranormal. And we have Brian. Yes, Brian, how you doing there, sir? And Pauline, welcome, Joanne. Yeah, love the backdrop. Yeah, I wonder who's taught me all this stuff, man. I love it. Yes, got the backdrop going on. We also got the yes, we actually got some things going on. Yeah, man. I'm doing amazing. Thank you. So how is everybody this evening? I'm doing great.
Besides that music, that makes you want to like, that music makes you want to like dance, like break dance.
So yeah, right. That kind of music, we can get you. Wow, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Stephanie's in the house. What's up, Steph? Did you get a new car? Car? Yeah.
Like
but no, my dolls have been attacking me. So yes. Everyone every time somebody says D's, I think of got him. I think of that guy I remember from years ago. Brian, I'm actually excited as well. Pauline Walker, all good in the UK. That's good. Anthony Lewis. I love that name, Lewis. Remember who in the Lewis? Remember that song or that singer? I love that guy.
Huey Lewis in the news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a new drug. But anyways, FDL Paranormal, good, but very tired. You kept me up every night this week. You're telling our secrets. How
he's like
beautiful.
He's like that loud neighbor. He's that loud, bad neighbor.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Love from the UK, Joanne Jackson. Thank you very much. Pauline Walker. Hey, beautiful Stephanie. Hello. Oh, I thought that was for me.
Oh, that's a cute little photo of a little baby boy.
It is.
Looks like a boy. He's cute.
I thought somebody was calling me beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back tonight. We got a couple of things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Chance Engelberg. Did anybody ever follow up on that case? I have. It's still a cold case. What do you think about that case, Rosie? I mean, isn't that kind of strange?
I think it's just kind of crazy, and I think that it should get more publicity because usually if someone keeps the case alive, that's the way that it gets solved. It doesn't get solved if it becomes a cold case unless someone, reopens it or someone takes it over to reopen it and work it out again, or like some people in the family usually just keep, like pounding the press and pounding social media about it.
Well, so here's my deal. So we know, ladies and gentlemen, beyond a reasonable doubt, that he was playing the golf with the in-laws. Now, something happened on the golf course. Something about, allegedly, his pay and his new job, because him and his buddy got laid off from the coal mine. But whatever was said was so bad that he was like, called his wife, was like, come get me. Well, actually, no, she showed up with the baby. He's like, F this. What are you doing here? Let's get out of here. I want to go home. And that's when they went back to the grandparents' house. He says, no, I want to go home. She's like, I got to pack the bags. And when she went inside, he turned around and just walked off. Now, nobody has said, all the interviews that I watched, nobody has said what was said on that golf course. Nobody, ladies and gentlemen, said what transpired between the wife and the husband during that alleged argument. Now, why in the world did the wife want a death certificate after 2 days of him going missing? Now, that blew my mind. Now, I don't know what people go through or what people think, but that's the least thing in my mind is what, can I get a death certificate? I mean, evidently there's some life insurance money involved, but
they don't even.
I mean, now that caused some conflict.
Nobody gets a death certificate that fast.
No,
not even when there's a proven death by a coroner. Then you still have to wait longer than that many days to get the death certificate, and it comes in the mail.
Yeah. Brian, you're all making me blush. Y'all acting like I'm just one of these free-for-all guys. Thank you. If you're up late with me, yes, I know. Hello, Nigel. Welcome, Paulta, to the party once again. Yeah, so nobody knows what transpired, but that's kind of weird. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little recap real quick, and we got our panel coming on. So let me prep this video here because I was being attacked by the dolls and they unplugged my Alexa. But let's do a quick recap by a news channel to bring everybody up to speeds that don't know about this. And then we're going to bring the people with abilities and the psychics on the board and one by one. And let's see what they got because something has happened. But what's really weird is that nobody is speaking about it. So, yes, Joanne, I know it's weird. I see Mr. Green in the background. Take you a good selfie there, mate.
Hey.
He's like, what? No, you're not. You're not live yet. Hey, Greg, I see you too. Stand by. We're getting ready to present a video here to bring people up to speed. Hello, Joanne Jackson. Let's see here. Missing, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen, in action.
Barbie dolls.
I hope I clicked on the right one.
It says missing father and husband in Nebraska. And underneath it says missing Shan Singlebert.
There we go.
This morning and more about his case. I encourage you to listen closely if you've been following the case or if it's new to you, and any questions that you might have or comments that you'd like to post, you can do so on whatever social media channel that you are on, and we try to incorporate that into our discussion. It's a little bit more casual than our everyday news setting, and we like that about this because it gives us more time to talk about a case. And then after the story, I have a former FBI agent joining me to talk more about the evidence in this case and some of the clues left behind. This is a case that's been going on for 4 years now. This is part of our missing series. And as I said, this is an update on a case that we have covered once before, focusing on a young man named Chance Engelbert. He is 25 years old, or he was 4 years ago. He's from Wyoming, and he grew up as a cowboy at heart. So many of the pictures we have of Chance wearing hat. In 2019, he had a wife and a newborn son, and he was about to start a new job that he was excited about. And then during a weekend trip to visit his wife's family in Nebraska, Chance vanished. We sent our News Nation correspondent to Nebraska, Rich McHugh, last year to cover this story for the first time, and he is part of our effort today to revisit the case and look into new clues. Here is Rich's report and Chance's story.
When Chance Engelbert made this left turn down a side street in Gering, Nebraska, no one had any idea it was the last time they would see him. His grandmother now adding $200,000 to the reward to help find him.
My husband said, Lydia, you can buy anything you want. What do you want? And I said, what I want, I can't buy. And I said, I want to find Chance.
But so far, no big breaks.
It's brought a lot of calls, but not anything that has panned out to be anything.
Chance was a former rodeo star turned family man. In 2019, he and his wife Bailey and their newborn son were spending 4th of July weekend in Bailey's hometown. According to Gering police, Chance spent July 6th golfing with his in-laws until Chance got angry at comments about his new job. According to Bailey, Chance called and said he wanted to leave to go home to their house in Wyoming. When she picked him up and drove to her grandparents' house instead, she says he got out of the car and started walking. He called his friend and best man, Matt Miller.
Well, he said he got in a fight with his in-laws, and he was wanting to come back to Wyoming to his house here in Moorcroft, and needed a ride immediately. That was 4 hours away. There's just no way I could make it.
When you spoke to him that night, did he sound intoxicated?
No, he sounded upset. He wanted to get the heck out of Nebraska.
Chance allegedly called back and said he was walking to Torrington, 35 miles away. This surveillance video is the last confirmed image of Chance appearing to follow a map on his phone.
I relive it over and over and over every day. I see the video of him walking down the street on the surveillance cameras, and I replay that every day thinking I'm going to figure out where and why, but nothing's coming yet.
Then at 9:08 p.m., the last communication from Chance's phone, a text with grumpy face emoji and a confusing mix of letters. A short time later, Chance's phone went dark.
Nothing on his phone. After 9:08, nothing.
A powerful storm passed through the area that night, raising suggestions Chance could have fallen into the swollen river, an idea his friend rejects.
We put hours and hours and hours down there walking river bottoms, and I don't think he's in a river. I think he's buried underground and he's hidden. If he got hurt by that storm, Mother Nature doesn't hide a body like that.
If there was foul play, was it a random act or someone who knew Chance? Brian Eads, the lead investigator on the case, says they have enlisted outside investigators, canine teams, they have conducted search warrants, polygraph tests, and they still chase down leads. He says Bailey and her family have been forthcoming and thoroughly investigated.
All of the family members have been interviewed. All of their properties have been searched by law enforcement.
Amanda Waldron is a volunteer investigator with the nonprofit We Help the Missing. She says there's a long list of young men who've gone missing in Nebraska since 2019.
It is definitely alarming, definitely some concerning circumstances, suspicious circumstances, random circumstances. Although I don't find any of them kind of fit a profile similar to Chance.
No clear similarities except for the lack of answers.
I do think because it is a less populated area, it is a lot easier to cover up a crime. A lot of people that are from the area protect their own.
Chance's family now hoping to break that silence with the additional reward money.
There will never be closure. We lost our chance. There will never be closure on this. It would be helpful to have him in a place of dignity that he deserves to be put to rest.
And a quick comment, this is for entertainment purposes only, and all parties are proven innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Yes.
When we started our missing series, one thing I said then and I still say now is every missing person matters. They matter to the people who love them and care about them. And in many of these cases, they matter to strangers who have never met them before, but who follow their cases. I think about the moms, and in Chance's case, his mom and his grandmother, who are just distraught because it's been now almost 4 years. This July will mark 4 years since Chance disappeared, and he would be 29 now, and his little baby, who was a newborn at the time of his disappearance, is now a toddler walking around without his dad. I want to bring in former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffendorfer to talk more about this case. Jennifer, thank you as always. This one is a really puzzling case because, one, it's dated. It's been almost 4 years since Chance disappeared, and two, there just aren't a lot of clues. We don't know if something bad happened to him, if it was an accident. As you sort of review everything that we know publicly about Chance's disappearance, what stands out to you most as an investigator that you would be leaning into and following that lead?
So one thing that really sticks out to me, Marnie, is that final text message. The emoji face. I've heard the mother on extended interviews say that she doesn't even really believe that that would be something he would normally do. Do people use emojis? Even if he did, the text underneath that with all of those letters, that's usually typical when something's happened to your phone. Either you put it in your pocket and it's been crushed and there's, it's accidentally texting when you drop it, if there's some sort of struggle for it. So that is a clue that really gives me pause as to what was happening to that phone during that last text message series.
Well, the other thing I think that points out to me, Jennifer, and you and I just covered the Alec Murdaugh murder trial in South Carolina, and the phone data that they were able to gather from all of their cell phone devices was extensive. I mean, it was like in terms of steps and location, GPS. I mean, you name it, they had the information. So I'm wondering, I mean, is the phone the best clue? Where did it last ping his location? How helpful is that? And is it too long gone?
No, I'm 100% with you. I wonder what digital forensics have been conducted on his phone. Has the FBI had a chance to take a look at that phone? Even though the FBI might not have, will not have a case open because they don't have jurisdiction, they can ask, the local police department can ask the FBI to open up what we call a police cooperation matter. And this enables the FBI to lend their resources to local departments in cases like this. I would love to see this particular phone analyzed by one of the FBI experts. And this is their lane. This is all they do. They've had extensive training and experience, and I would believe they could glean a lot of information. How many steps did he take? Did he take them quickly at the very end? Was that phone jostled? Was it thrown? It just, everything that could have happened to that phone, that needs to be uncovered, Marnie.
And I'm glad you brought that up because we did get a viewer question from Colby in Pierre, South Dakota, and he said, how is the FBI not involved in this case? Do you have to have the phone to gather that kind of data, or does it live in, the cloud, so to speak, and they can still gather it?
In some instances, it's kept within the cloud. Obviously, the phone is really the key, the actual instrument itself. But oftentimes, a lot of that information is in the cloud. I'm also wondering what digital forensics was done on the phone of his wife, on his friend, anything else that can be gleaned, because at this point, you can't really just go with the testimony. I'm hoping that they downloaded everything from the phones he would have communicated with.
I spoke with an FBI expert earlier in the program when we aired Chance's story for the first time and talking about who is involved in this case. And Colby's question is, can the FBI be more involved? The FBI agent I spoke with said that local police have been very good on this case. They're still looking into it. What would stop them from asking for outside help? What are the complexities of that discussion that would lead to an agency assisting?
Well, it really just comes down in a lot of situations and jurisdictions. What kind of relationship does that local department have with the FBI? Oftentimes, they will have amazing relationships where they go and have coffee once a month, where they're very involved with the local jurisdiction. When that's a situation, usually it's a quick phone call. the question is asked for help, and the SSRA or the SA on the desk that handles violent crime or that local territory will quickly open a case, assign an agent, and they can begin to help. So a lot of it just depends on the relationships that pre-exist.
Great question, Colby. Thank you for sending that in. And anyone else who's watching, if you have questions for Jennifer about the investigation, now's the time to post them. You know, I'm wondering, as more time passes, gets close to the 4-year mark, how much more challenging it is, one, to keep attention on a case like this, but two, and more importantly, is to solve it.
Well, Marnie, those first hours are so crucial. You know, if we could have started, meaning we, law enforcement, if law enforcement personnel could have started the minute they knew that he had wandered off and had that bit of information that evening, that's what they really needed to have happen. I would believe that that law enforcement authority has gone and done what we call a canvass in and around the area where he was last seen on that footage. I would believe they've also hopefully polygraphed everyone involved in this case, everyone that, you know, from that golf outing that they went on. We know there was a situation that occurred during that golf outing that initially got Chase upset and had him wanting to leave. So I would want to know everything there was to know just before he went missing.
Right. So we know now there is a reward being offered. We heard the grandmother there. She has offered a lot of extra cash in this reward. It's now at $200,000. Chance's family does believe that something happened to him, something nefarious happened, whether it was a crime or whatnot. In a case like this, is it helpful to have such a high reward? Does that entice people, if someone in fact knows something that connects to the case, for them to speak out?
This is the perfect time to have a high reward like that. And I'll tell you what, early on in the case, you don't want that, because typically you're getting flooded already as law enforcement with all sorts of clues.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, first off, when the police was involved, when they went and notified the Popo, they're like, hey, don't worry, he'll show back up. They just calm down, relax. That's what the story they got. They're like, no, something's wrong. They're like, he'll be back. He'll be back. Now, don't forget, allegedly, him and his wife were on the rocks and had some marital, probably some whatever between them, because he told his mama to stay out. He'll fix his marital problems himself. He said, Mama, I'll take care of it. You stay out of my business. That's why Mama didn't call. That's why Mama had somebody else call to check on him to make sure he was okay, because Mama was going to get him a hotel room that night. Now, the reason why his buddy, that 4 hours away, didn't come down and get him, because it was a holiday weekend. He was sitting back drinking and playing horseshoes and grilling out. It was the 4th of July weekend. Boy, does he feel sorry now. That's got to be a big burden on my heart. If I was,
Do you know if there was a 911 call or a police officer call made that night when it was starting to storm or whatever, so they could report him so that the police could go and keep looking for him?
They didn't report it till the next day. And they're like, don't worry, he'll come back. Yeah.
That always ends up being the case, and that always ends up being a bad
unfortunately thing. He allegedly had a reputation, ladies and gentlemen, that when he got upset with his wife, he would walk away, calm down, and come right back, and everything would be happy. So that's why family members didn't think that nothing was wrong. He'll return. But the storm threw everything off. Now, one thing that the news channel we watched did not report, remember on the last show, the friend called and said, hey, there's a cell phone on your porch. He called the member, and his buddy, he was like, I'm going to go over and get it. And he went over to get the cell phone. The cell phone was gone. And I was like, I had to never get it. Well, guess what? The cell phone was never there. And it never reappeared. And now they said it was a town's drunk cell phone. So they never did forensic test on it because the mama was like, hey, look, I'm still on the cell phone records. The police didn't want to go get a warrant and pull the records. So she went to the cell phone store and said, hey, give me the information. I'm on the bill. And then that's when they found out he didn't make any phone calls. It was an app in the background updating. That's why the data was used. So, Pauline Walker. Thank you, Crazy Witch. We was running around from Rat and landing and funny when I fell. I hate when I fall. It's funny. So, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, all parties are innocent until proven in court.
I have some theories now.
I do have some theories. Now, a polygraph test was never given to any family member. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Rosie, remember, the wife asked for a death certificate within 2 days.
That's what I'm saying. That's what my theory is about the phone, that she lied and it was his phone and she wanted to go through that phone. And if it updated, it's not going to just update on its own. She's going to have to actually put a passcode in and accept an update. It's not going to just all of a sudden update on its own. Like if it's sitting there and it hasn't been using forever. You know what I mean? I mean, depending on what kind of phone it is, my phone says, hey, you have an update. Do you want to update right now?
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how law enforcement works. Rosie, you got a missing persons case. I'm bored. You want some help? I'm the FBI. I'm Grizzly. I'm bored. Hell yeah, I want some help. That's all it takes right there. Yes. You heard the FBI lady?
Yes.
Nobody never asked. Boy, but when they went on a search, they had, I think, said last show, 17 agencies involved. Up and down the river and creek and wherever. I can't wait to hear what the mediums and psychics say in the field with Billies. Well, Kat, might as well go ahead and cross your arms because you're up first. You ready, Kat? She's laughing and shaking her head. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kat to the show. Kat, you are up from Australia. How are you doing?
Hi, everyone.
All right. So introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how you do and what you do and what you come up with.
Okay, I'm Kath. I douse mainly. I do a lot of other things, but I douse. I try to find missing things, people, animals, stones, whatever the task is. But I really like my dowsing. With this particular case, I consider myself front-loaded. I watched a lot of footage and I doused my way through all the footage. So I question everything I possibly can the whole way down, and then all the little side tracks that I come up with, then I continue on trying to find more answers. This one's interesting, to say the least. From the time... I'll try and be concise because I've got 4 pages on this. I believe his drink was spiked at the golf course. I believe they had intention to begin with to hurt him severely. I think the conversation that they had, that argument out at the golf course, I think that was about family, like not family, but about the baby and money, something to do with the baby and money. The other thing I kept questioning was why were the in-laws and the parents, both the parents of Chance and the lady, his wife, why were they arguing so long before the wedding, and they were still arguing after the wedding, and 2 years later they wouldn't allow Chance's family to see the baby? To me, that put a big red flag up. So had that at the back of my head the whole way through. I kept dousing backwards. I question I don't know. Does anyone know if the baby is Chance's?
That's what I felt like when you're talking right now. I felt like that was what they were arguing about in the golf course, possibly.
I think, and then there was another comment.
I didn't want to bring it up because allegedly his mother said he was faithful until a certain point.
That's the
and
other
that was
thing
during
that's,
an interview.
yeah.
So,
That's
and
the
I
other
didn't.
thing.
I just left that lane.
Yeah, same. But that spiked me up later on down the track when I'm trying to find out more things, because of that business. I don't know for sure if that baby's his baby. Before the wedding, they had a bit of strife, apparently, and then things settled down, and then they got married. As soon as they got married, there was strife again with the wife. Apparently, the wife got all, I don't know if she had postnatal or something, but something kept going on with the wife after the wedding. It was not rosy after the wedding. To me, it gets tricky. Usually when I'm following a case, the time between the time they disappear and the time they end up wherever they end up in their final destination, a lot of the time that I've practiced, it's been one transaction. This caught me up, this one, because I found 2 steps to the movement of when he disappeared to his final destination. The first one tripped me up because I go searching for vehicles, or how were they transported, or who picked them up, or in this situation, the first part of pickup, like he goes into town with the wife. He doesn't want to be dumped where he was dumped. Absolutely doesn't want to be dumped there. So he takes off, goes walking. There's only an area, I think, of 35 minutes when he was walking around by himself, and then the time that I think he was second part of his transportation. So what I think has happened is one of the wife and the in-laws, her parents, buddies, had possibly, I don't know if I should.
Go ahead, let it out.
I want to know if you're going to say what I think you're going to say.
Let it out.
Forgive me, everyone on the planet. I think
just say this is my opinion only. Then you're
right. This is a hypothetical, everyone. This is just from dowsing and linking dots. I don't profess to be a pro. I don't profess to be right. This is just what's come out of all my dowsing. I think what happened was, from all my research and that, he left the golf course with the wife after the argument. He'd had enough. He wanted home, meaning Wyoming, not home where his wife was. So then she dumps him in town. He doesn't want to be where she dumped him, so he walks off. Now I'm thinking I call it BF, baby father. I think baby father was given a tip-off by wife to come into town and help out this situation that I believe they had already planned, but they hadn't planned for that day. Thus, they had their equipment ready at the golf course. They spiked his drink. This is my belief. The timing with the chemical I believe he was spiked with matches everything all the way through. The blurry vision is one of the symptoms of this particular drug. Yep. And then if you sit on your keyboard, I typed out what I think that sentence meant. Because, if you're out of it or whatever, in this particular drug, you're coming in and out. You've got blurry vision.
It looked like it said I was really bad.
You're nauseated. You, after a period of time between 35 to 85 minutes, I think it is, you start to go in and out of coma. So it looks like you're out of it. And you're wobbling. That footage of him turning around at the corner and the way his leg moved and he was following his phone. I don't know 100%. I still want to see what hat he had on that day. Anyway.
Me too, because I get different visions of different hats from what they said.
Yeah, and you can't see clearly. He's a hat boy. He will never go anywhere on the planet without a hat. To me, I'm interested in what hat he had on. Was it a cap? Because that's not his usual style.
It was described to be a black and white ball cap is what they said, but I kept seeing a cowboy hat, a dark cowboy hat.
Yeah, same. That had me questionable. Anyway, so then I think what happened was he walks off. There's a 35-minute period. So I'm thinking he walks off. BF, I call baby father. He comes in. He's already been tipped off by I keep blanking out her name. It's B.
Bailey?
Yeah. I reckon she tipped off baby father to come and tell where Chance was. I think he just walks along, because this is where I had troubles with my dowsing, because usually you get one straight energy like track. This one stopped and started. And so I questioned, because I go searching for what's the pickup vehicle, and I couldn't find one. And I thought, this is weird. So then were they walking? Yes, they were walking. So what I think happened was baby father meets up with Chance. They have a little chit chat. Then they've got a car parked, a truck kind of vehicle parked further down the road. They get in the car. They start chit-chatting. I had another question about his final destination. I couldn't figure out what was going on, and because at this point he didn't have a final destination. So I'm asking questions about, well, where is he? Is he above ground, below ground, bloody blah. All I can pick are metal, concrete, rocks, vegetation. I go through the whole thing. The only thing I could pick up on this one was plastic. And I'm thinking, plastic, but he's still above ground. Anyway, so I had to get further into it there. So I figure there's plastic already being placed on the seat of the vehicle. It's raining. It's a good excuse. Okay, bit of plastic, don't want to wet the vehicle seat. So from what I figured, the plastic's already in this vehicle. He hasn't moved yet. Then what I picked up is BF, baby father. He wanders off. The last ping of that phone was 9:08. The next time that phone was mentioned was at 10 o'clock at some travel place, Western Travel something or other place.
Like a Travel Plaza gas station type place?
Yeah, it was mentioned on one of the footages, Western Travel something.
Yeah.
And that the phone was located again there. What I think happened was baby father, Chance was, but that 35 minutes is when I think Chance was typing up that message. Then when they got in the car, I reckon BF took the phone while poor Chance is in and out. If this drug is correct that I think he might be on, he's in and out of, and she thinks he's off his face, right? Like I don't think she knows what drug's being used. So she just thinks, oh, he's drunk, So then baby father racks off and with that phone. And then I think what happens is the person in the vehicle, I call the driver, Chance is unconscious, and then they drive off. I think from the injuries that I found, I think this driver punches him in the head and thinks he's dead. I'm sorry, everybody. This is a pretty horrible situation. I hope I'm wrong. So that means he's in and out of coma. She thinks he's already gone. So then they drive off, and then she takes him to the location. The driver takes him to the location. The driver, I figured, is 5'6", female, had a lot of different coloured hair, not a straight, normal colour hair. I find that the driver is related to the baby father, and the in-laws, the wife, the baby father, and the driver are all connected. I believe Chance accidentally spotted something that the in-laws had done. The business about Chance said, I did not cheat while I was married. There was a huge sentence made about cheating. To me, it seemed like everyone seemed to be assuming Chance was cheating. I don't believe Chance was cheating at all, and I reckon he made that comment, emphatic comment that he made to the mother, and the mother, repeated it, his mum, that she cheated. I think the wife cheated before the wedding. and thus the in-laws fighting non-stop, and that's why they won't let the in-laws Chance's mum and dad see the baby. I think he was. There's two sequences of the the transportation that had me quite stuck for a little bit until I figured out that the BF was walking, and then because I think the driver's this 5'6" woman. I kept thinking, how can she be that strong? But the vehicle I picked up was high, some sort of a truck. So that if he was already in the plastic, unconscious, she thinks she wraps him up, gets to the destination. She's 5'6". She could be built rock solid, military training. We don't know, like I didn't get that far. But 5'6", rodeo country, they're strong, usually strong girls, They're strong. So what I think happened is she wrapped him while he was still in the truck and then just dragged him down to the final destination. Before I got that far, I stopped at, it was a bit upsetting to know or to think or assume or hypothetically know that he is still alive. She thinks he's not. That's what I've come up with. That sentence on the text, if you get on your keyboard, some of those letters are one off. You're only one key off. Yeah. So I played around with that and I came up with, I don't deserve this as the sentence.
That was my second one.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a really sad situation. I think they know, I think
What did you say that you thought that the landscape looked like? Did you say like concrete or gravel or like grass or something like that?
When I went through all of that, when I first picked up I call it the first pickup, all I could pick up was a black plastic. Nothing else. Nothing above ground. I couldn't find any form of passed over at that stage. And right till the end, not passed over. Like she thinks he is. Because if I'm correct with this particular drug, you're in and out of a coma towards the end. So you're totally in a coma, and then you kind of wake up a little bit, and then you're out again. I think she thought, or the final person that, whatever, I don't think they knew he was in and out of this coma. I think they thought when they did their last little final punch in the head, I think they thought, okay, he's gone now, 100% gone. They just chilled out, continued driving, casually wrapped and placed. Yeah, sorry everybody, but I came up with a bit of a groovy on this one.
Hey, this is why we're doing it. And next up is Derek, so stand by and we'll see what's going on. All right, thank you, Kat. All right, Derek, from the UK, welcome to the show there, mate. Introduce yourself.
Everybody.
Hello.
I'm all right. So, as you know, I'm Derek Green. I'm a psychic medium. I've done this work for about 30 odd years. I run my own paranormal team, and I enjoy doing what I do, bringing people help and whatever else. So I'll get started.
What did you do to figure out this one?
Right. So you sent me a photo.
Okay.
I looked at the photo. I've also done a little bit of crystal ball while I've been sat here.
Oh, wow.
And there's some parts I agree with who were on before, and some parts that I don't agree with. I'll get straight down to it. Do you know if the wife or the family was struggling for money?
Now, the wife was allegedly, they think, now this is allegedly, they think The reason why she was asking for the death certificate because she had no job and she was worried about money.
Right, because when I looked into my crystal ball when the last one was on when we were talking, I got an inkling of money, trying to claim money for his death, trying to claim money quickly. I feel that this has gone really quick. I do feel that he was on the way. He had a phone call to meet somebody that had some information about her that was having some sort of affair with somebody else and wanted him out of the way. Wanted to claim money to make things better for herself. Yeah? So I do feel that he had a phone call to go meet somebody. I do feel that when he met somebody, they was lying in wait. I do feel there was two people there at the time, both male, and I do feel that he died more or less straight away after meeting them. I do feel that he was moved. When I look at crystal ball, I was seeing trees and a dirt road, very little vegetation. So it might be somewhere where things aren't growing properly or things are being swamped by water. But there was trees and a gravel road. Yeah, but I do feel that she wanted him out of the way, and he was worth quite a bit for his life insurance. Hence why she wanted a death certificate quite quickly. Hence why she planned to get rid of him and to get things going away. I do feel it all started. I do feel it all kicked off, and we did argue, we did fight, and we did get things sort of going away. And she had already set this plan in motion for him to go. I do feel that her family knows or know of what's happened, but they're not saying.
You know, that's really strange because in the beginning, they were not planning on going on that trip. They were planning to staying home to go hunting with his buddy. Remember that, Rosie?
Yeah.
And somehow that plan got changed. So that's very interesting. Now, with that being said, they never did mention an amount on that life insurance.
It was changed by her. The plan to get him away, to get him somewhere where people didn't know him or didn't know him as such, where he could go to his friends or people that was close to him, get him out of the area, get him somewhere different, somewhere where he had to meet somebody via his cell phone to go and meet them. That's what I've been picking up. That's what I've been feeling, looking at this photo of this gentleman and going via the crystal ball. And it's all, the crystal ball did show me money straight away. It was showing me money. So I knew there was something about money that were going to be involved with it. Think about that they wanted to sort of claim quickly, get things done quickly. Unlike good people, I try and pick up the person that has passed away more than things going to him. So I work different to most mediums. I try to get the person that has gone missing or passed away or whatever you want to call it. I try and work on them and them alone because I get more information from them than what I can from somebody else. I've just been given a name as well, Grizzly. While I'm talking to you, I've been given a name from him of somebody that might be involved, and I've got the name Peter that's going into my head.
Peter.
Yeah.
Okay.
You say Peter?
Peter. Yeah.
Peter.
I do feel with Peter is probably one of the males that he was saying one of these two. I do feel there were one that were going to meet him and one that was hiding. And the deed was done pretty quickly and out of the way and gone.
Interesting. And where do you think the body is located?
I think it's when I see it, when I look at it, and I'm looking into crystal ball to find out where I can't see a vehicle as such. I see a dark shape for a vehicle, maybe a dark colored vehicle. I can't make out what it actually is. But when I see him sort of in the ground, it's like There's a gravel sort of a road, gravel-ish road. I do feel there's trees around, but there's not much vegetation. It might be an area that would probably be a floodplain or would get water at some point if it rained.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. But I do feel he's not far from where he actually was last seen. He's not that far from where he actually was. Maybe, I'll do it in miles because I'm in UK, maybe 3 miles away. That's probably whatever it is in K where you are, about 3 miles away. That's what it feels like. It's not that far.
Interesting. Okay. Anything else you'd like to add, sir?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, either you can stick around or I'll see you in a couple of hours. Your choice.
I'll stick around for a little bit.
All
See
right.
what people say. And I'll see you in a couple hours.
All right. I'll put you backstage. Thank you, sir. All right. Next up, Kelly Joe. Hello, Kelly Joe. Welcome to the show. How are you? All right, Kelly, you're up.
Hi, everybody. Wait,
hello. How are you?
This is a twisty, turny case. It's a twisty, turny case. Who's doing what? And I saw he was the patsy. 5 people know about it. There was 3 people in the truck when he was killed, and he was wrapped in something, but he was pushed off. You know how there's like a high ridge, and then there's a guardrail, and then there's like a ravine way down. They pushed his body down off the truck into the ravine. 3 people were involved with that, but 5 people knew. And everybody was having affairs. Who's doing who? And I think maybe money was involved, but he was the patsy. And she cooked this up with another man. So it was premeditated.
Wow. Do you think it was baby father?
It could have been. Because there's 2 women and a man, and then 2 other people knew, a man and a woman. So 5 people knew. But I do feel like he was drunk because I felt sick to my stomach. My stomach was flipping. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I never drank, but you know, the earth will come up right. And everything was flippy, you know, and everything was spinning. And I feel like woozy and like sort of like out of it, like sort of like you're not really unconscious, but you're like in twilight, like twilight drugs.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me.
Interesting.
And then I feel a head in my head, you know, like I was hitting my head. And then I felt like I think maybe he was shot or stabbed because I felt blunt force on the front end of me, and then everything was black. You know, gone. Like lights out black.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's what I get on it, and it's twisty. Everybody had plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very twisty in the beginning when we both looked into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, stand by. We'll be right back. Here we go. And of course, I hit the wrong button. Let's try this one more time. It's my dolls. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Grizzly and Rosie Paranormal True Crime. This is brought to you by, Western Kentucky Bigfoot Paranormal Investigations, LLC. Thank you, Dawn. So, Kelly, anything else you'd like to add to that?
Well, I feel like they will find the body eventually. A hunter will find the bones.
Oh, yep. Yep.
So you think he was underwater?
No. I see the cliff, and he's pushed in the back of the truck into the ravine like a cliff, and there's
Like a
trees and
reservoir?
stuff. There's no water.
Okay.
No, it is trees, like a cliff. And you look down, you see trees. You know, the tops of trees, because there's
like at the bottom though, but he's at the bottom down there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was trying to find.
And
figure
it's
out.
off. It's off the road. It's right off the bend of the road. They just took the back end of the truck, and they pushed his body off down into that huge ravine. You know.
Do you think that's pretty close to where he was last seen?
Yeah, it's like within, I think maybe 15 miles of where he was missing from.
Okay.
Okay. All right, stand by, Kelly. Thank you very much. All right. Next up, yes, and now let me see if I can say her name correct. She is new to the team. She is smiling. She's got a little smirk on her face. Let's make sure she's ready. Emrex, is that how you pronounce your name? Yes, she says. Welcome to the show.
Can you hear me?
Welcome.
You're the green hair girl.
We can hear you loud. Yeah. So introduce yourself.
I'm a psychic tarot reader from Louisiana. I've been working for a few platforms for a few years. The mediumship has been something that I've kind of developed over the years, but it's been very, very in my face lately. So that's why I kind of reached out to you guys.
Yeah.
But upon seeing, I'm clairaudient as well. I hear the dead. Upon seeing the photo of the individual that you had sent us, I immediately was getting that the body of this person, because they said that they were deceased, was at a blue house.
I got blue too.
They were very
blue.
adamant.
There's a lot of blue.
Very adamant. Blue house. Blue house.
That is
blue
so
house.
weird. Nobody else has said that so far.
I'm getting chills, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
He said that that's all they would need to know, really. That I think it's in close proximity, and that they would know whose house this was. To be honest, I think it's at a blue house.
I think there's something blue, like some kind of significant something blue that's near his body. Definitely.
He said that's all I would need to say, really.
Mm.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting. Wasn't the grandparents' house blue?
I don't know, but it'd be interesting to ask.
I don't know. I didn't do any research. I didn't Google. I just saw the picture and immediately blue house, blue house.
I didn't see anything that I've seen that was blue. I just got, because like you're clairaudient, I'm clairaudient, and I just heard blue. There's something significant about near his body that's blue.
Yep, blue house.
And I was told either near or on or by his body.
Yeah, I think it's on it's a property. It's kind of like, it's not close to houses, but it's not super far away from other houses either. And it's kind of wooded.
Mm-hmm. Like that could be where it happened, possibly even.
I think that's more of like where they left him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this person's house really even belonged to anybody involved. I think he's around on the property of a blue house.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's pretty cool.
Now, why not? Let me just hit a button. Hold on, Craig, you're next. Hold on. And Drew's coming up too, so hold on here. Let's see here. Now, there was one picture. Does that resonate any color with you all?
I
I
feel
can
like
know
it
it's
see
was
not
very
like
like
a
well.
more blue, like more
more
bluish.
blue.
Yeah, like the
Wow.
color you're using on your screen, like that kind of blue. Like at least very obviously, like you're gonna see it and you're gonna be like, man, that's blue, right?
Because that's, I think, was their. No, that's the wrong ones.
That's kind of like a mint green, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, and it's like a tulip. But I thought the grandparents' house was blue because it showed it
Could
in one
even
of the
be like a
videos.
shed or something too. You know what I'm saying? Like she said that she didn't think that it was inhabited. I didn't see that, but if it's
Right.
like a structure that
Oh,
looks like a home, it could be a
okay,
shed or a shack or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Abandoned building.
Yeah, I
okay,
think it's like a house. Like maybe with white trim.
okay.
The
Keep
blue
that.
house with white
Hold that
trim.
thought. Hold that thought because I'm gonna have to go back and look at a video. All
Okay.
right. Well, I'll bring you right back. Hold on.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. She's a goodie. Hold, stand by. All right, Craig, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks for your
Nice to
patience.
meet
So
y'all.
how you doing? Introduce
I'm doing
yourself.
great.
Good.
My name's Craig. Craig at Sleep Floor. Been doing this for many years.
Quite a while. I've seen you, but your hair's gotten longer since I saw you last.
Right?
Yep.
I've been working on it. I'm trying to cover my bald spots. Anyways, there's quite a few different, like from all the readings that have come forth, there are some that are bang on. And again, I'll just say this is my opinion, but I stand by my opinion. That golf course was brutal on that guy. It definitely was about the child not being his. I strongly think that's kind of where it started. I think that golf game was a setup, and the way this guy behaved, like I think he took off a lot when he was angry, but I think he was angry a lot. Like he just couldn't hold his temper. That was his way of getting out. This is not part of the family, but it's part of a friend of the family. So that's why they haven't been able to kind of do, polygraphs. They've done the polygraphs. They've just done it on the wrong person. I don't necessarily see drugs, but I do. Like there was someone behind them in that vehicle. There was a female driver. It seems, looking at that video that you played, it really seems like nobody gives a shit. Like it's the emotion. There's no emotion in his family, let alone the other side of the family. There is that 15-mile difference is exactly what that is. It is 15 miles. So the radius of that town is 15 miles. He is there. Before the last medium that was on, I said 15 I heard 15 in my head, and she said 15, and that bang on.
Okay.
It was a setup. I think the wife had this confrontation was going to happen there. I think the whole family knows about it, but they haven't. The police haven't asked the right questions regarding the child and if the child was his, because I don't think it was. So I agree with the other medium in the beginning that the child wasn't his. And when he found that out, that was the end of the fucking golf game. That was it. So when he took off and his best friend didn't want to give him a drive or wasn't able to give him a drive, I think he started to hitchhike. And once he got out of the view of the camera that we saw on the news,
One Street, right.
And I'm going to agree with the Blue as well. There is something with Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Sorry, my cat's got a bunny. No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
I was wondering what that sound was. I thought it was a
No.
bird. Oh my gosh, his cat got a rabbit. Oh no.
We'll bring him right back, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, we'll let him. Okay, he's back. All right, here, go ahead. You're back.
Did you save the rabbit?
I saved the bunny.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I have a pet bunny. I like bunnies. I have a cat too.
Holy. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I couldn't let that happen. Okay. No, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
You're mean. Animals. Anyways, so we have the child not his, for sure. We have 15 miles from the spot of last known area.
Oh, an attempted one.
There wasn't. Sorry?
Oh,
Diane
someone
was
said, I
like,
thought there was a
there's a
murder.
murder in Florida. Yeah.
I said it was an attempted one.
Hey, Craig,
Okay.
let me ask you something. Now, did Chance's mother know about the child not being his?
She's cunning.
That's what I thought. Because I picked up on that, but I wasn't for sure because she was, to me, she was playing duels.
She played both sides.
Yes, she was playing duels.
I agree with you there. I would have expected a cry out. Why the grandma is coming out and being the spokesperson to the mother and father is beyond me. You would think, as a parent that I am, if my kid was missing, I'd be screaming and yelling and making sure everybody heard me. So I'm surprised that she hasn't been more forthcoming. And like I said, I don't really think they care. Like, and that's why the grandma is doing all this work. You know, you would think it would be a family thing, not a grandma thing.
Right.
So it's almost like they don't care. And it's sad. I don't know what else to say about that. Like it's unreal. Yeah, there is 3 people that know about this. And I do think it's a friend of the actual father. And that's why nobody has been able to kind of correlate this, because the friend he's gone. Like, it doesn't matter, right? He's out of the picture, so nobody's going to talk to him. And the way that her family has kind of dealt with this, it seems to be only money. And it seems to be like, why aren't they searching? Why aren't they wanting answers? And they're not. None of the family has stepped up to look for her husband. And that only shows guilt. One way or another, that only shows guilt. Like, even as a father of the wife, you would go, I would want to find out where your husband went. And where's the dad to that child, right? Like, we would just, as parents, that's what we would do. And being that they're not doing that, that shows guilt. I'm not saying the wife knows exactly what happened. Maybe she does now. But I think that's been kept away from her for the reason of police involvement. So that way they can test her all she wants, and she will pass. I don't think necessarily that she thought that this was going to happen. Like, I don't think she planned it to happen. But the real father did. I do agree with a ravine of some sort. The body being thrown down into a ravine, or even a hole of some sort. Dark. I don't believe there was plastic in the vehicle. Because who goes into a vehicle full of plastic? Not me. You know, you don't hitchhike and hop in a car full of plastic. That's just a dumb move. And I don't think that guy was that dumb. Was he wrapped in plastic? Why the hell not? The blue house. Yeah, there's a blue house around that area. And again, I don't think it related to any of the family members. I think it's related to
where the remains can be covered.
Like a geographical location marker. Yeah.
I don't even know where this happened. But there is a 15-mile radius for sure. I've tried to, I haven't looked up anything. So the only thing I know is what you played.
Right. And that's the way we're supposed to do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So there is a 15-mile radius of that last known area. I don't think he was planning on getting into the vehicle of said person, but decided to go anyways. He was hoping to get out of town. I think his plan was to hitchhike home. And say kind of screw the family, screw the whole thing. I think they approached him with the intent of, kind of trying to calm the situation down, which lured him into the vehicle, which allowed the incident to continue. He is not alive. That's absolutely for sure. There would be someone would know from family or even the rodeo. Something would be, he would go back to something that he knows and he hasn't. So he's definitely crossed over. Trying to think of anything else I can come up with here. Blonde hair. I'm going to say blonde hair. So I'm going to say that's a male with blonde hair. I don't know if that's Peter, but it's blonde hair.
Grizzly, do you remember where that he got a job at, or he had worked at before? Like, what kind of jobs did he do, or what places that?
So he was actually at a coal mine, and that's where everybody got laid off. And him and his buddies like, "Oh hell, we better get a job because everybody's gonna go get a job. We're not gonna get a job." And him and his buddy went right out and found that job at a propane company. Remember, they were like the first two that got hired. Yes. So yeah, so they were fortunate. Now, Angelite, earlier, if you were in the show, yes, a couple of mediums actually made contacted with the other person.
He didn't just disappear and decide to make a new life for himself, right?
Right.
Where was his prior location that he lived before Nebraska?
He actually lived in Nebraska. That's where his family's ranch was. That's where he grew up.
And then he moved to where?
He never left. He went to Wyoming to visit the family. All right, next up is Drew. Since we lost Craig, we'll bring you back. Drew, are you there? Hello, Nanu. Welcome to the show, sir. How you doing? And your mic is muted, sir.
I done it again. Hey, Rosie.
So go ahead.
Good,
Hello?
you?
I'm doing great, sweetie. Long time no see, though. Missed you.
I know. Probably like a year, at least.
Yeah, we got up to lots. We got things going on. Grizzly, nice to see you, man. So everyone knows me. I'm Drew Nicholas. A lot of people might know me, but some people might not. I'm Drew Nicholas. I'm a psychic medium. Also, the owner and founder, director of DNTV. Amazingly, my co-host is Jarrell. I gotta keep mentioning him because he's my co-host for DNTV from the Marvel movies. And my other company is called Phoenix and Stags Working and Pagan Academy. I've been a second medium for quite a long time now. I don't do by years and experience. It's no point in my eyes because it's a gift for the rest of your life. The time you come out, the first time you see light, that's where your gift begins. So, okay. Actually, just to confirm, Grizzly, I already mentioned this to you right at the beginning when I saw the picture, to what the female looked like, blonde hair, to what I felt like around the house. The house is definitely offsetting. I did see the Grizzly as well. In a way, I felt like the children was being neglected and involved in this dispute. One thing that's off-pointed me, and Grizzly said it early on.
Another AI.
One thing really did point it out. The mountains. I do believe the mountains. Something about the mountains really called me. You mentioned early on they were looking jobs in the mountains, and that kept rumming in my head early on. I'm not gonna lie, it kept on rubbing. And these mountains are very, very not far from work and where he is. That's why I feel like he is. Because if he was pulled into the car, like I want to say him, I don't feel like he was murdered in his area. I feel like he was murdered where his job was based. Mountains shutting down. You know, that's why I got picking up quite a lot. In myself, I just literally had that running through my head, and I said, no, this is going to make much more understanding for me to everyone. I've seen a lot of subjects on between this woman is really jealous. Family didn't really want to know, but cousins. I do pick up cousins who was trying to look for him, like cousin of the family members. And it was a few of them, not too many of them, just a few. And all I can see is a dark road going around the bend when I saw it. But the house was different when I mentioned the Grizzly. The house was a different total shape, different mess, different colours. And I felt like the house was a very abusive, negative energy in the area. They constantly had arguments. But yes, relationship problems. It's more to the family connections. I do believe she definitely, in my eyes, I'm just saying, okay, my opinion, I do believe she did plan to murder him. I do believe that, but in twisted minds, I'm getting very anxious talking about this. You know this, don't you?
Yeah. Are you grinding your teeth? Do you grind your teeth?
No, I'm really focusing on, I mean, what the image I can see, it's really, really strong. It's like patterns, trees, but I can hear like owling. I feel aggressive. I feel like he was in aggressive mood. I feel a lot of anxiety on his shoulders. He took with him. I don't believe he's passed on. I believe he's still there, revenging and spirit-wise, just to try and get attention. I do see a rope, and I do see an object of a weapon involving.
Did you say a rope?
Yeah, a rope.
I saw a rope too.
Rope. I do see a weapon involved. I see a crowbar. The car wasn't full of plastics or anything. This was planned where to take him. I feel like he also had an illness on top of him. Like he was poorly at the time as well, with a lot of stress. So drinking maybe a little bit, yes. But I do believe in full wise. But this area is not far from his work and his home. And I picked up, like, the woman she's very cunning, very secretive. Didn't really want to show her phone. Didn't really want to show much of her love life to him. And I do feel pick up the family is some of the family, well, not all the family, some of the family, very secretive with her, and there's something going on. The death certificate is for a payment. It is for a payment. It is money involved, insurance, claims. It's definitely there. and I already agree with Grizzly. I agree with us on this point. But the attention on this is no one's seen it in the area, and it's got to be one suspect. But if they had to mention, the family was too bit of a nasty person behind the doors. I think people are too afraid of them to speak up.
You think her family is what you're talking about?
Yes. Just confirm it.
I think so too.
I don't like how the way she sacked herself. The footsteps are definitely different. The way she is. She was nervous and anxiety when she had an interview, but she wasn't that emotional. I keep pinching myself, so that means she's suffering a lot probably now, emotions. She's probably suffering. Quite a few of them are suffering, but the worst one's going to be her. I feel like she's not blonde anymore. I feel like she's more darker and in self. I feel like the family's just splitting up in a way, but secrets won't be told. But the house is definitely a massive different color. It's not as the same color anymore.
What do you mean? Has it been painted?
I think it's more painted. I think things have changed around that area. I feel like that land is different.
I'm gonna write that down.
I do see people in the car, but not three. I only see two.
Besides him?
I saw two. Yeah.
That's what I think I saw. Two people besides him.
And I do like a whisper, shush, shush. Be very quiet. It's okay, we're gonna have fun. And that's what I'm hearing. It was like he was smelling with full strong perfume around him, but also smelling of like acidy, grippy smell on him. But I do believe that the mountains is something to do with the mountains. That's it. So I go for you guys.
I was reading a comment that Carolyn made. She said Terry's Lake is a 7-acre.
Yeah, I was going through.
Oh yeah,
I
picnic
was going through
area.
pictures.
Because as I'm listening to Drew, then I'm reading the comments too, seeing like, you know what I mean, like if they match or something up, match up or something.
Mm-hmm. It was a massive image. His workland is definitely where it could be. It's definitely where the mountains are.
All right, stand by, sir. I'll bring you right back. Thank you, sir. So, that was interesting. So, a lot of my speculations came to pass.
Yeah, me too.
But so I didn't want to bring the child involved in the beginning because I didn't want to taint or anybody to pick my brain apart or at all. But what's really weird is I cannot find the pictures of their house any longer online. And last week it was everywhere. And that's what I was trying to do while Drew was speaking was look up their house pictures because I could have swore in one of the news clippings that their house was blue. So,
was it? You see what I put in the private messages?
No, I was trying to click on messages, people's messages, but I could have swore it was the blue, because remember the news article
Did you try to Google
showed.
Earth?
Yeah, that's a good thing, because
It'll
they
still be
showed the
there.
side of the house with the porch, with the wooden steps and the little deck where the cell phone was allegedly spotted, and I could have swore it had blue vinyl siding. So, interesting.
I'm gonna have
All
to
right.
run shortly. I'm gonna go pick up my daughter from work.
Hey, not a problem here. Let's bring everybody back in. I want to thank everybody for joining. There, I did click on everybody. So it's a very interesting case. I don't know what to say. Like I said in the beginning, the ones that came in later on, how this works. If Rosie was the FBI and I was local police, she'd be like, hey, I'm bored. You want some help? Hell yeah, I want some help. That's how it works. Nobody's going to turn down any help on any investigation. And nobody's that proud. I mean, come on. Well, I'll take that back. Some people are in law enforcement proud, but, in missing persons cases, unfortunately, they have to wait so many hours because of things like this, and they do come back or they do blow off steam or whatnot. But I knew there was more to what was meet the eye, because the way the families responded to each other was very strange, especially during the interview, because his mother, in my belief, in my opinion, was wanting to tell more, but she kept catching herself in the beginning during some of her interviews on the news channels. So that's what made it very interesting.
Well, it depends on if she's legally been told not to. Like if she was told by some kind of lawyer to not say what she wanted to say and she had to stop. Maybe. I don't know if she has a lawyer or not.
At the time, she didn't know. Because what was weird is that the in-laws were telling his parents, we got it. Don't come down here. Everything's fine. We got everything under control. Don't worry about it. And the parents were like, huh? Okay. Well, I guess so. We'll stay up here then. And then the next day, they're like, oh, the hell to the no. He didn't show up. We're on our way. We're packing our bags. And then, how awkward that must have been, because they wanted them to stay with them. They're like, ooh, damn, that must have been some tension. So, yes. So, I don't know. Interesting. So, it's going to be interesting to see if they do recover any remains. I'm sorry for the family and members and the friends. And what was really weird about this, too, that was not brought back up during the news interview, is that the wife told the new job, don't worry about keeping the job. Let it go. Give it to somebody else. I forgot to bring that up on the last show. And his best friend was like, oh, hell no, keep that job. He's coming back. So there's other things that played into this that I did not tell anybody, but the news did not bring it back up on the other stations. And that was really weird, because not only did she make the phone call, she actually allegedly showed up to the new place of employment. So
she did?
So evidently, I don't know if there was 401k that was probably transferred over or something. So, but yes, very interesting. Very interesting. So next week, ladies and gentlemen, we have a news reporter allegedly
All
coming
kinds
on.
of twisting.
Yes, and we're going to have family members. So you all cannot watch the show, the people with abilities. So we're going to see how this one shows up. Now, this person, I will tell you one thing only. He walked out his front door and he's like Houdini, went and just disappeared off the face of the earth. And nobody knows why. So that's the only thing I'm going to say, and I'll provide you a picture. So, and the family wants answers now. So the news reporter is allegedly coming on the show with the family members next week. So do not watch the show. And once we get done with the show, we'll recap what Rosie has on the other medistic and sadistic and other twisted show and crime that she has.
If
But I
you
just wanna
guys
say-
want to look at the photo of the guy on that, I'll put him in there too, because nobody
Yeah,
knows
please
exactly what
do.
went on with that either. It's under the investigation by the Bureau of Investigation. So far, like nothing's been put out to the families and nothing's been put out to the public for an explanation on what happened, except for that they think that the person
Go ahead, Kelly.
I'd be happy if you send me the picture. I'll look at it.
Yeah, we'll send you a picture and we'll make sure everybody gets the picture. Then
I
the
do want to
next
show you
week's show.
something though. Can
Yeah,
I
go
show you
ahead.
something? It was based
Yeah.
off what Derek said. Derek said he saw the word Peter, right? And then Peterbilt popped in my head. Like Peterbilt, the business. That's why I was asking you, where did this guy work at?
Right.
Like, where did he work at before? Where was he going to work at after? Because I knew he worked on cars, but I'm not sure. I didn't know where Peterbilt was located or where Peterbilt was, like, what their area of expertise was. I've just seen a business that was called Peterbilt that's not far from where I live. So I looked up
Peterbilt is a
I can't hear.
semis.
What'd you say?
Peterbilt is semi trucks.
Yeah, I looked at that.
Peterbilt is semi.
Right.
You know, well, I did look it up and I researched it a little bit, but I wanted to know if there was one close to where everybody was picking up the geographical location to where this person's remains might be, if there was one close by. And there is a Nebraska Peterbilt at Grand Island, Nebraska. And when I pulled up the map to search for it, guess what I see?
Don't tell me a curve with the cliff.
Platte River.
No way.
This water here, this is Peterbilt, and this is the
Wow.
Platte River. I'm just saying that could have a connection to like either what happened to him or somebody that was involved in what happened to him. If Derek saw Peter, I just try to piece together like investigatively, like what somebody says. And Peterbilt, just coincidentally, there happens to be one by the Platte River. Just a thought. Just a food for thought.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot Craig down there. I'm sorry, Craig. Come on back, buddy. I'm
Hey,
sorry. I
guys.
see you down there waving and jumping up and down. Yeah. So
I
hope
did a
you heard all
backflip
that.
for you.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the heck's all that going on down there?
I'm trying here.
There's a water treatment plant at Platte River, too. So
that
really...
Peterstown makes complete sense. That's crazy.
Isn't it?
Just Peterbilt. I didn't see how many miles away it is from the Platte River. I'm going to look.
Yeah, that would be interesting to
and
see
see
if
how
that
close
was
it is, because y'all were
15
two of y'all
miles
said
away.
15-mile radius. Like 2 or 3 of y'all said 15-mile radius. So I wrote that down. So I'm gonna like do some research on it tonight because I want to like be like.
Did I lose you guys again?
No, you're still here.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that's exactly 15 miles away. Because I think that's part of it.
These things don't belong here. Which one has the glasses? Is good, aren't they? Fine. Brian, we have some amazing people on here tonight. Yes, we do. We're continuing to add to the group. They have to go through a process, so they just don't jump on board. Ain't that right?
Breaking glasses.
Yes, she did good. So, what did you think for your first time? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I was even surprised when something came in so quickly for me, but I guess it was just, I don't know, I'm meant to be here with you guys.
That's right.
Sure.
We got more to come. And
What
Craig
is
and
it?
everybody, Kat, Derek, Kelly, Joe, everybody, Drew, and Derek. I'll see you here shortly, brother.
2 hours.
That's right. Hey, Rosie, take care, and we'll work on your case and talk to the reporter next week.
All right. Bye, guys. I'll send a photo.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks again. Y'all have a good one.
You as well. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No. We're gonna watch and listen.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, shit, should we run?
No.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, should we run?
Okay. It's a grizzly.
Are you sure it's not a chipmunk? Action. No, get out of here. Action.
It's a grizzly.
I'm out of here.
Huh. Maybe it is a chipmunk. It's a grizzly.
Are we gonna die?
I don't know. We're just gonna sit here and listen and watch.
Let's get out of here, maybe.
Fall!